So with that being said, any guests here today?
Yes, but
this is Swapnil. He's a member. He starts this month.
Okay. Hi. So Swapnil is just starting. So first October today, I could start to the journey, and hope you have a good meeting. And guest Astha, yes, you have visited us last time. If you can just a quick introduction from yourself and. Thank you. Well, yes, sir. So you could just introduce yourself.
So my name is Mayur, and I came to know about Toastmasters from previously when I was in my college days. I used to hear much about Toastmasters. I've been away from it because I have stage fear, as well as I don't talk much about it, especially on stage. So if there's a group of friends along, yes, I can talk to. I'm a part. I can call myself as an ambivert. So that aspect. And I did my BTech from EIT, Weather Institute of Technology, and I'm a 2020 graduate. I'm now working in Wipro as a business consultant. And
so since you said that you have a stage fright, I can do a small experiment with you. Would you like to come on the stage and let go of that fear today?
now?
Yes, now. You can tell us how did you come to know about our club and what do you have expectations from today's meeting?
So this is my first experience with the Toastmasters. I know few people from my college who were into Toastmasters and stuff. But the thing is, I never used to go to that debate. Like I had an experience, bad experience in my 10th class when I tried into some debates which used to happen there, and I couldn't speak much about the topic which I was given for. So that's when I started hearing about debates, and also I was totally away from all the debates and other activities. And then gradually, like until my 10th, I was like an introvert and wasn't talking much with my friends. Or like I kept a very close, what do you call, close circle of friends. And then in 11th and 12th, I shifted to Mumbai. And that's when I came to know a different, this was a really unique experience in Mumbai. Like I did until my 10th, I was in Hyderabad. And from Hyderabad coming to Mumbai, it was totally a unique experience in which I came to know how people usually, like the culture over here, the people, the way they talk, the way they converse with everyone, the way they behave, that's totally different. So that actually built me up as a person who I am now. So that actually helped me in my college as well when I was doing my BTech. It was like I was then able to make more number of friends, and I was able to speak with many people. And the way I was conversing, most of them were liking me when I was doing it. So that's what made me an ambivert now. So I can speak with friends, like with people whom I see once, and then okay, I can get to know about that much. And yeah, I'm still frightened from inside. I don't know if you can see me shivering, but then yeah, within I'm. But this is really this is a new experience for me. So I just want to start off.
So the journey from introvert to ambivert and now probably to an extrovert.
Yeah, I want to push myself towards that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just introduce yourself. Yeah.
My name is Stanley. I'm from here. And trying to improve my social skills and my leadership skills and public speaking skills by joining Toastmasters.
place, and hopefully next meeting we see you as members. So I just want to ask everyone, whatever you set out to do the tasks for the day, do you actually achieve it? And why do you think is that? We don't do it. Yeah, why? Please, procrastination, yes. Or, yeah, coming from the discipline master himself. We do something else, but not what we plan. Yeah, so,
expect more.
yeah, priority, exactly. So, what is it that I kind of remember Toastmaster Simran's speech that she had given a few weeks back. She was in Zen mode and she actually stood like this. We thought that she's going to get carried up. Yeah, so, what she focused on was that going into Zen mode, that is going off social media. And that is, I think, one of the most important things we can do to kind of achieve the tasks for ourselves. First and foremost is make a to-do list in the morning when you wake up or the previous night. That helps you plan better. So I was reading this book called as Deep Work, and there the author says that how do you do deep work? And the author also talks about this thing called as the Pomodoro technique. Does anybody know what is a Pomodoro technique?
Yes.
You know everything. Yeah.
So it's 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break.
Yes, exactly. And that 25 minutes has to be like focused, deep work. So no notifications, no checking of calls at that time. And when you are doing that one particular task, you do not think about something else that, oh, I have to do this in the evening or I have to do this at night. Oh, my boss is calling. So this is something that I have thought that this technique is really useful, not just in our day-to-day life, but even in our office life. When we have multiple things to do, but you are focused on that one task, and like he said, after 25 minutes are done, you take that 5 minutes break. Even if you feel that I don't need this break at this point in time, but you take that 5 minutes to kind of like a bio break or just refresh and then come back. And when 3 such tasks are completed, like 25 plus 5 minutes, 25 plus 5, 25 plus 5, take a bigger break of 20 minutes. So this is what is the Pomodoro technique, and there are apps also to track this. So I don't think Toastmaster Simran will agree with this to use an app for this because she is into Zen mode. So you can actually use an app where it kind of gives a notification. So that's something that I want everyone to think about. And with that, we will get on with today's meeting. I hope it's a whale of a time for everyone. And with that, I hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Mayur.
Thank you so much for the introduction. And a big round of applause for the presiding officer, Toastmaster. So today's theme is change is constant. Now, everyone must have heard about this statement, change is constant. But now I want to explain you this with the help of a little story. So the story is called the Eagle Story. I like to watch Discovery Channel, and yesterday I was watching this wildlife program. We can have many lessons from this program, and I will tell you what I thought from this eagle. An eagle has a lifetime of 70 years, but to reach to this age, it has to take some hard decisions in its 40s. It has a long and sharp beak, which becomes bent after the age of 40. It has a long and flexible talons. Talons are the nails at the end of the bird's feet. So it becomes blunt and it cannot catch its prey. So at the age of 40, it goes through so many of these changes. It becomes old, its feather becomes heavy, and its feather is no longer able to him to fly in the mountains. So to go through this change, it is very difficult for the eagle. So there are only 2 options left for the eagle: either to die or to take a decision which will help him to improve or to grow, basically to live for the next 30 years. And this decision involves some hardship. The hardship is that the eagle needs to fly to the mountain. It needs to knock its beak to the rocks on the mountain and pluck it out. After some time, the eagle's beak grows back. Once the eagle beak is grown back, then the eagle can pluck out its old feathers. Now it no more has that old feathers which you are carrying the weight of it, and he or she might not able to fly. So now this change helped the eagle to gain the rebirth, and now it can live for more 30
So from this story, we can have many insights. For example, many times we need to take some decisions or change our thought or change our process to survive. Also, we sometimes we sometimes need to get rid of our old memories, old thoughts, habits, and we have to embrace a new change in our life. For the benefit of the guests, today I'll explain you the structure of today's meeting. In today's meeting, we have two sections. The first section is an evaluation workshop. A member will come and present a speech to you, and other members will evaluate. The second section, which is the final part, in this you will have an informative session, and you will get a brief idea about clubs and awards. As the Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to introduce the role bearers, that is the tag team of today's meeting. To start with, to keep a track of the time, we have the timer of the day. So I would like to call the timer of the day, Toastmaster Meenakshi.
Good evening once again, everyone. I am the timer for today. As a timer, it is my duty to keep a time of all the speeches and the evaluations that are taking place today. So since it's not a regular meeting, we just have one speech. The timing of that speech is 5 to 7 minutes. So at 5, I will be showing the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll be showing the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will be having the red card. And I will keep it placed till the end of the time. There is a grace period of 7 minutes, 30 seconds. So 7 minutes, 30 seconds is the time. And for the evaluations, it is 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, I will be showing the green card. At 2.5 minutes, I will be showing the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will be showing the red card. And I will keep it on till the end of the speech. That's over to you.
To keep a track of good or not so good usage of grammar, we have the grammarian of the day. So I would like to welcome Toastmaster Nikunj on stage.
Good evening, Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. So, as a grammarian, it's my duty to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any incorrect usage of grammar or good usage of grammar, like quotes, saying, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce word of the day and phrase of the day. So, today's word of the day is trepidation. The meaning of trepidation is a feeling of fear or anxiety about something that may happen. As an example, shaking with trepidation, the young man faced his fear of height by skydiving. And the phrase of the day is a whale of a time. The meaning of whale of a time is an exciting experience. As an example, a family had a whale of a time at the theme park. So, speakers and evaluators will try to use the word of the day and phrase of the day in their speeches. It's noted over here for the reference, and will acknowledge whenever someone used word of the day and phrase of the day by this thumbs up. So each speaker is encouraged to use this word of the day and phrase of the day, and I'll present my report while called upon general evaluator and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikunj. To keep the track of aha and ums during the meeting, we have the aha counter of the day. So I would like to call Toastmaster Shweta on the stage.
Good evening, Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am the R counter of the day. As the R counter, I note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pillars by the speakers. During the meeting, I listen to the crutch words such as and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for the pillar words such as and I note when a speaker repeats a phrase such as I, or this means, and or long and short pauses. I'll give my report when called for by the general evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shweta. So everyone here must have gone through the change in their life. At start, change is very difficult. Change is different. Change is inevitable. We face many difficulties going through the change at the start, but later we get comfortable. Change is not something that we can hide from. Everyone has to go through the changes. From the birth itself, the age change, the perception change, the environment change. So everyone has to go through this change. And if we knew what was going to be happen, then our life would be so boring and unpredictable. So we need to accept this change and we need to embrace this change in our lives. This change will help us to bring new experience in life and also to connect with the new people. With this, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sunish on the stage to conduct the evaluation.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, just to put up, this is my intro line, right? So, my name is Sanish. It's pronounced as Sanish. So, I like it when people mispronounce it because that is my intro line. The moment I go, I correct it and say, okay, that is. And the moment somebody says or pronounces it correctly, then I wonder what should I say. So, how many new members who have never done any evaluation? Can you see a raise of hand? So, a lot of members. So I do hope you guys register for the evaluation contest and participate in that. Now there are 4 contests and evaluation speech contest is one of those, and we are having it on 15th of October. So how many people have gone through the ballot for evaluation? Can I see a raise of hand? Okay, so let me see a raise. Yeah. All right. So something I want you to do is later on when you go is download from Google. If you type in Google Toastmasters evaluation voting ballot, you'll get a 2-page document. So just download that and go through. It will give you a good idea on how the voting judges will mark you in a contest. So just for the benefit, I'll just take a glance you guys through it. So there are 4 parameters. The first is analytical parameter. And that is 40 marks for it, the analytical parameter. In this, the evaluator, the contestant, is marked on the basis of the identification of the strength and weakness in the speech given by the test speaker. All right, so that is the first thing. The second parameter is recommendation. And for this, there is around 13 points. And for recommendation, it's the areas of improvement identified by the evaluator and strength. The third parameter is technique. Technique means the manner in which the evaluator shares his or her commendations and recommendations to the speaker. Meaning, how sensitive is the contestant while presenting the views? Does he understand that what the speaker have put the work and will feel good or maybe feel offended while the commendation and recommendation is being shared? And the fourth and final part is the summation. And generally, this is the part, again, there is 15 marks for it, which is sometimes missed by the evaluation contestants because we don't plan for it and we see that red card and we want to be in time. So plan your speech in a way that you don't miss on the time and you summarize. In summation, mention all the points you mentioned in the commendation and recommendation. Don't add in new points. So that is the thing. And finally, like I mentioned, be wary of the time. The time is 2 to 3 minutes. And after 3.5 minutes, you will be disqualified. So always take care of that. By the time the red card is being shown, ensure that you are somewhere in the middle of summarizing your points. Now, coming to evaluation in general, as I mentioned, the first point is analytical parameter. So when we are analyze the speech. So something, a common phrase we use in Toastmasters, we evaluate the speech, not the speaker. So always remember that, because the speaker may deliver some other speech in a very good manner, this speech in another manner. So whenever we are giving the feedback, we restrict it to the speech. Now, any queries till now? Anybody? I know I threw a lot of jargon and technical. So anybody, any queries? All right, nothing. So I think you are good. So one thing I would say about evaluation is it's one of my favorite sessions in a Toastmaster meeting because the speaker gets an idea on what he or she needs to improve upon. We also personally benefit on day-to-day life, how we can give or share feedback with people around, maybe in our personal life or in professional sphere as well. Like we have 360-degree feedback in our corporate world as well. So over there also evaluation is very important. And when we participate in giving evaluation in normal meeting or contest, we learn how to work on this particular craft. So I do hope all the members do participate, all the guests do take membership in this particular month and register and participate for the contest. And with that, I'll give this spin over to Toastmaster. So we will have test speaker who will be coming over here and giving a speech for around 5 to 7 minutes. After that, we will have 5 minutes of silence where all the participants who have already registered, they will be taking the notes. Even those who have not registered, you are welcome to take your notes and maybe compare it. After the 5 minutes is over, all the people who are participating will move outside, and one by one, each of the contestants will come inside. So we'll have Sergeant at Arms calling them. One by one, they will be coming in. And after your turn is over, you can sit inside. The reason being is in a contest, one speech will be evaluated by all the participants or contestants. So we want to give the same experience, and you won't be able to hear your predecessor also in a contest because you will be stating the way how you will be providing your own feedback. And once 3 people have given their evaluation, I'll be coming over here and sharing my feedback on what they did well and the areas upon where they could have improved. So I'll be doing that activity after the end of the 3 participants.
Just one question. Just one question. So what is your recommendation on the use of props in the evaluation segment? So props are something which I have seen the various speakers who come up in various pockets there. So one they'll have a balloon or something like that and predetermined, and they will fit in that particular prop in any of the speeches. So what is your take on that?
Evaluation, it's kind of supposed to be, or we always infer that is impromptu, but it's also kind of prepared also. Many people have a framework in their mind how they are going to analyze. So something, if a prop you feel will add value to your evaluation, definitely you can use it. But don't use it just because you had a prop in your mind and then you feel that urge, okay, I have brought it, let me use it. So if you feel it is value additive, I would say you can use it. But if you feel that it's not value additive, but somewhere you are compelled that I have brought it, so I want to use it, so I'll suggest them don't use it. Yes. No, you can refer the notes also while evaluation.
There's one more question. Apart from all the 4 points that you have mentioned, what are the things which will add cherry on the cake? Like few things which everybody has done, most of us have done, but there is one speaker who did something, evaluated the speech really well. So what would that points be? Something that you can just give us the glimpse, like probably he used a joke in between, or probably few things that you can just review.
So I would say it will vary from person to person. Like I have seen quite a lot of evaluation, but I'm still amazed. There are times when somebody comes with something different or amazing. So it's all about, I would say, creativity. It's that everybody sees the same speech, but what is your takeaway from that speech? So it's all about that, because it's the same 5 to 7 minute speech everybody is listening to. Somewhat I would say is probably to remember is the evaluation speech. We give feedback, but again it's also a performance. So in a normal meeting, we don't say that you should not overshine the speaker. Probably it's somewhere kind of. But in a contest, again the evaluator themselves take that main role. So it's all about that how you do that performance. So your emphasis can be on analysis. As per the ballot, it's 40 points is for analysis. That's strengths and weakness. So that is where the main emphasis is. And again, that is why you can carry the paper as well. because it's all about like how observant you were, what you saw, listened, and what feedback. If I have to say, I would say, yeah, if you can prioritize the feedback, because again, we can have a list of feedback, like maybe 6, 7 commendations, 6, 7 recommendation. You can limit it to 3 and 2, probably. Something of that will vary from contestant to contestant. And which 3 you choose. How you think that will benefit the speaker for his or her next feature to grow as a speaker. So that I think makes the difference.
Actually, I wanted to suggest if you said after 3 evaluators coming, you would be giving your feedback on that. If you can have a break at that point, or you want to have the break after all the 10 evaluators only ever.
I would say after all would make Any other queries? So we are good. So all the best to everyone.
Thank you, Toastmasters Manish. So, coming to the prepared speech, we have Toastmasters Shobit, who will give the prepared speech, and he will be attempting level 1 project 3 of pathway presentation mastery. And the objective of this project is to research about the topic and talk deeper about the topic. So I would like to welcome Toastmasters Shobit.
Are you left brain or right brain? Anybody knows? Ever this question wondered you? If not, we will explore this topic today. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear future Toastmasters. My name is Toastmaster Shobit, and today I am going to talk about left brain versus right brain. Before moving ahead, let us understand how our brain functions. So, brain is a complex organ which gives signal to the body for different functions. Either it can be your thoughts, your receptive perceptions, your physical actions. Just make 3 counts, but it has more than 100 billions of neurons and more than 100 trillions of connections. Now, what brain, how it functions? It receives signals from neurons, and it further passes to the body for the bodily actions and to respond to the stimulus. Now, the left brain and the right brain have different functions in the body. As per the theory, the people who are more creative, the people who are more artistic are of the right brain. And on the other side, the people who are more analytical, more logical are of left brain. So this first came in light in 1960s, a research done by a psychobiologist and a Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Roger T. Spear. According to the research, everybody, either he can be a right brain or a left brain, and due to this function, it determines his thought process, his likings, his disliking, his personality, his choices. Everything depends on what kind of brain dominance you are. And meaning of brain dominance is that in comparison to both the brains, the one brain is a little bit more dominant, the one part of the brain precisely same. Now, some facts about the left hand brain and the right hand brain. So the people of left hand brain perceive qualities like they are more into analytical skills, they are more logical, they are fact oriented, they are good at calculation, they are good at maths, they are great at learning new languages. And the other side, the people who are right brain, they are good at creativity, they are good at intuitions, they are good at visualization, they can see a big picture among everything, they are a good communicator, they can learn, they can remember faces, they can understand the emotions very well. So these are the basic difference. Now, the bigger question is that how we can identify which brain we are. Either we are a left brain or right. So here I come with a fun activity. I need participation from each and everyone. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Can I listen up louder? Yes.
Yes.
So I am going to demonstrate 5 activities. So just do like this. Just free your hands, everybody. This is a 2-minute activity. The first activity is by default just hold your hand like this. Done. Now see which of the thumb is on the top.
Right.
So if your right hand thumb is on the top, which means you are left brain. If your left hand thumb is on the top, which means you are right brain. Why? Because your left brain controls the right part of the body and your right brain controls the left part. Okay. Now second, just do like this. Look at the top of the book. Just you are aiming at that. Okay. So you are seeing a picture behind that. Okay. Don't focus on the picture. Focus on the thumb. Now what we need to do first, we need to close our eyes, left eye for 3 seconds. Just do that. Okay. Just close your eyes. Now open it. Now close your right eye for 3 seconds. Okay. So now in which scenario, open your eyes. Now in which scenario the background just moves aside. If it happens when you close your left eye, it means you are right brain. So people are doing again. So if it happens when you close your right eye, means you are left brain. Now coming on the third activity. Just hold your hands like this. Which hand is on the top? So if left hand is on the top, you are right brain. If right hand is on the top, you are left brain. Now next activity.
I think I'm confused.
I'm coming to the point. Next activity. We all love clapping in Toastmasters. Can I see a clap? Before completing the speech. So now, from which hand you are clapping? Like you are doing like this, or you are doing like this? So one hand to your top. So if the right hand is on top, your left brain. If the left hand is on top, your right. Next activity. We always used to wait, you know. So can you wink at me? Come on, guys.
Guys or girls?
Everyone. Can you wink at me? So if you are winking from your right eye by default, so you are left brain, and if you are winking by your left eye, then you are right. So these were the few examples. So out of 5 activity, it may happen in 4 cases your answer was a single, and in other cases your a different answer. But if you got a same answer in 3 or more than 3 cases, that is your brain. That is your dominant. Okay, now can you see a raise of hand? How many are right brain after this activity, if you know? How many are sure about their left brain? Okay, so we have a mixture, like most of them are right brain. Now, while doing my research,
Dealing for left brain, right hand.
now, while doing my research, I also got to know that one of the facts which we have heard from our childhood, that we only use over 10% of our brain, but that is not true. What is true? We use our 100% of our brain, but what varies is the capacity in which we use our brain. That varies from 3% to 15%. When we are born, we are only using the 3% of our brain. But people like Albert Einstein, the great philosophers, the great scientists, they are able to use their brain up to 15%. Now, while concluding, I can say, what if you can have the qualities of a right brain as well as the left brain simultaneously? What if you can be creative and can be analytical at the same time? If you can do that, I can promise you, you can do wonders. So that's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shobhit. I always thought that I had one thing because whenever I used to have a headache, I used to go to doctor, and he never told me that my left part of the head was paining was the right one. So I believe that this is a new insight which I got from your speech. Moving on to the evaluation session. So first we'll have.
It's fine.
Okay. First we'll give you 5 minutes to write your evaluation, and then we can start with the first evaluation. We can start at 5:46. Okay, to start with today's first evaluation, I would request other evaluators to vacate the room, only except Toastmasters chief.
Should we collect their notes?
Please come with me.
Yeah, you're the first.
Vidya.
Shitnej also.
He's the person.
Shitnej also, yeah, he's there. I think he came in late. You heard the speech?
So I would like to welcome Toastmasters Chetan on the stage for his first. Participant 1, Toastmaster Chetan, participant.
Thank you. The Toastmasters, dear judges, and Speaker Shobit. Such a lovely topic selection, I would say. It was excellent to know more about the left brain and the right brain. This is extremely important because all of us do have a brain. So from that perspective, a very, very relevant topic selection. And what was really brilliant is you got the entire crowd engaged with the 5 activities. That was really amazing in terms of how you got it going. And they were very simple activities, right? Otherwise, for a complex organ like a brain, to have a very simple activity is something that was hats off to you. Really nice way to engage the audience. Your confidence on the lectern as well as your powerful speaking voice has been a fantastic part of the speech. So from that perspective, it had the elements of all the great elements of a speech. It would be a lot better if you had an action item for all of us at the end of the whole speech, because that is one thing which I would have loved to see, or which I would have loved to know. That and you left us titillating with a lot of curiosity as to how do I get the left brain, right brain combination, and a call to action or a follow-up action item would have really packed that punch. So you really have had the speaker, all the audience engaged, and with your 5 activities about the details about the left and the right thing. One particular thing, the action item, a call to action, would have really nailed it in. And from that perspective, I say, to summarize, it's a powerful speaking voice that you have, a lovely confidence and a presence on the lectern. The activity engagement was super. I personally would have liked the point of that call to action would have really nailed it in. But overall, a fantastic speech, and we look forward to hear a lot more from you. Over to you, Contest Chair. All right.
Now the next participant, Vidya.
7:20. You can just tell him the 2-3 orders so then.
Okay. Participant number 2, Toastmaster Vidya. Toastmaster Vidya, participant.
Thank you. Hello everyone.
Hello.
Good evening. We all had a whale of a time, right? Because we are meeting, we are all looking beautiful. I mean, including myself, even if you don't believe. And because of this wonderful speech, so I contribute this beautiful time to Shobit because it was an absolutely amazing speech. Why do I feel that? Few points. Started with a question, and that's the first way to get the attention of the audience. You, from the start itself, you hooked it. From the start itself, after the question, you went into the topic. You didn't move around other topics.
you directly went into the topic that is about the brain, and we knew what you're talking about. Before talking about left brain and right brain, you told about it. You set the background. That is, you explained about the brain, right? You didn't just go what is left brain and right brain. So what is the function of brain? So the structure was beautifully framed. You explained about the left brain and right brain, and what are the functions that left brain and right brain do. When you took the name of Dr. Roger D. Scare, the emphasis was clearly there on the top. So we could remember the name of the person who is behind this. You clearly explained about left brain and right brain, and that left brain focuses on logical and right brain about creativity. So it was registered. The most interesting part, you involve the audience, and that's the best way to make the speech loud and clear and people being attentive to your speech. You own the topic, and the structure was so beautifully framed and the delivery was so beautifully done that as an evaluator, it was really difficult. You were calm, confident. I noticed that in between you clapped also. I mean, again, the attention of the audience was there. People were confused, but still there was no trepidation. And in terms of, in your face, you were fearless. Okay, I'll explain that. So you were ready with that. Now, few recommendations. The examples of left and right brain you could have specified of people who are from left brain and right brain. The conclusion I felt would have been more stronger. The delivery part, I felt that the first 2-3 statements, you were really loud, but then the sound, the volume was little low. I really believe that it could have been there throughout the speech, and it could have been more rocking speech. You could have owned you were owning the stage. You could have, like the topic, but you could have owned the stage by traveling. You could have come down and emphasized on the delivery part. But overall, it was a fantastic speech. I really enjoyed it. I know everybody enjoyed it. These few recommendations and you will rock it. Thank you.
The next Toastmaster is Toastmaster. Toastmasters in the participants.
I had a whale of a time seeing Toastmaster Shobhit come on the stage and deliver a brilliant and one of the most experienced speaker is what I would say after hearing so many speeches of Toastmaster Shobhit. And today was yet another brilliant performance by him. First of all, he started with a question which had a great impact on the audience. Left brain or right brain? I am sure none of us must have known whether it's like our brain is more aligned towards left side or the right side. And Toastmaster Shobhit helped me at least in finding which one I am more aligned to. Now, starting with the most brilliant pursuit of Toastmaster Shobhit is his audience engagement and gauging the interest of the audience throughout the speech. I could see that throughout everyone was engaged. He had several questions for the audience, 3 to 4 activities for the audience, which helped us. We were so engaged in those activities that the interest was maintained throughout the speech. The content of the speech, the way he started with the question, the way he had several activities planned for the audience, and the summarization as well. Everything was on point. The objective of the speech was a well-researched topic, and Toastmaster Shobhit was brilliantly covered the objective. He researched his topic so well that he also had follow-up activities to
to help you all like actually understand what is the left brain more focused on, like what are the professions involved in the left brain and what are the professions involved in the like artistic or like non-artistic shouldn't be the word, but yeah, you all know what I'm trying to say. Now just two small recommendations. So what I could see is like most of the times, 70% of the times, Toastmaster Shobit was speaking like facial expressions were like this. Like, giving most of a speech with your eyebrows raised is what I observed. That could be avoided with a pretty a calm face, without your eyebrows raised, and then raising it when you're asking a question, or like a diversion of your facial expressions. And obviously, this can be achieved by with practice and also by looking at the mirror and practicing your speech and deciding which like recording yourself and seeing at the end how other facial expressions being changed with time. Second one was I could see a little bit of monotonous hand gestures, and so basically, for example, using impact while you do this, it's just one of the few hand gestures that we can give it a try. Because I mean, your speech was so beautifully portrayed and also written that the content and all was so good. So these are the 2 points that I would give as a suggestion to take it to the next level. And to summarize, I would say, like we all know your strong suits and also even your strong traits. It's time to focus on the ones which are which can be improved to take it on the next level. That's all. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters. I would like to call upon stage Toastmaster Sanish to give his presentation.
Toastmaster Chetan, you gave an amazing feedback, reflecting a veteran Toastmaster, began with a smile, so your technique was apparent just in 10 seconds. So that was a great point. You included the strengths, so in the analytical parameter, you mentioned all the strengths, what according to you are the good points, so that you have properly mentioned confidence, the letter and the voice. So one thing I would say, lecture, I think it means the podium, right? So we don't have that. So probably that would have been skipped. So that's one thing, lecture. So sometimes it happens like we have places we offer news, but since today we don't have a lecturer and speaker did not use it, probably that can be skipped. And confidence, voice. So you have mentioned about the engagement. So in analytical parameter, I would say you have even around 3 to 4 parameters which you have identified and mentioned. So that was great. Probably one thing I would say is place more emphasis so that the speaker as well as audience come to know exactly which are the strengths, like the first strength or second strength, something like that. I would suggest if you want to ponder upon, so that the speaker and judges in general know which are the main points, the strengths. And in conclusion, so again, the other thing I would say, yeah, action item for all of us, that was one of the recommendations. If you are the speaker, what would you have recommended? Like if you can suggest that would have been great for the speaker. That was, you are on the right track, but if something that will give the speaker to actually take away both of them, something like that. And for summation, I felt there was a double summation. Once you mentioned all the good points and the areas of improvement, and again you emphasize on areas of improvement, again you came back. So that could be something you can be doing. So thank you, Mr. Chetan. Toastmaster Vidya, great speech, amazing. The moment you came on stage, again a great technique, like engage everybody, you smile. Something I would suggest is don't feel necessary to use a word of the day or the phrase of the day. Maybe on the day of the contest we may not have it, but not required. In terms of analytical, I would mention identify and prioritize. I think you had around 7 strengths. So out of that, maybe limit to 3, which you think will add value to the speaker, as well as maybe keep it diversified. Maybe 1 or 2 in terms of content and 1 or 2 in terms of delivery. But I would say good analysis in terms of observing and identifying the strength. Just prioritize which you want to share. In terms of recommendation, again, great. You gave that recommendation of examples of people left, right, and right. So that was a very apt recommendation. In terms of own the topic, but could have owned the stage as well, and how to do it, mood and show. So again, a good way of sharing the recommendation. The third recommendation, conclusion could have been bit strong. So again, I would mention if you can give how it could have been made stronger, if you were what you would have done. So that would have again increased the impact of your recommendation. And finally, summary I felt you missed, like summarizing the whole strengths and the areas of improvement. So since you included a lot of examples on strength, so time also short. So that's something. Again, thanks. Toastmasters, Simran, again an amazing feedback. So in your feedback, I observed you specifically mentioned what are the areas of strengths. Like you said, everyone were engaged and you elaborated activities. There was content of the speech and everything is on point. And again, well researched on the topic. So on the day of the contest, we will not have a speech objective, but again, today since it was mentioned, it showed you were observant and gave feedback with reference to that event. So that was a great takeaway. So as an evaluator, very apt of you. And you also mentioned the professions, how each of the brain is necessary. So that was great. Again, in terms of recommendation, you mentioned about the eyebrows raised and how the speaker can work on it. So again, that's a good point for recommendation. Like when you're giving a recommendation, how the speaker can adopt. So look in the mirror and where in the speech needs to be used. So that was a good recommendation, I would say. In terms of summary, again, I would say you have to mention both. So that is something definitely for both of you. 15 marks for summary. You need to be wary of that. And one more thing is monotonous hand gesture. So instead of monotonous, maybe we can use a more empowering language, like we would have more empowering hands. So monotonous also has some negative connotation. Sometimes it comes. So giving for you since you come across a very strong evaluation. So that's it.
Thank you for the feedback on the evaluations, Toastmasters. For the next Toastmaster, we have Toastmasters Parita. Participant number 4, Toastmaster Parita. Toastmaster Parita participant.
Very good evening to one and all. So with Shobit's speech, how many of you got to know that you all work more with your right brain? Please raise your hands. Absolutely clear you should be. Yeah? Okay, wonderful. And how many of you all got to know that you all work more with your left hands? One day. And how many of you are till right now perplexed that I am not really sure? Please raise your hands. Wonderful. So this category is the best. Thank you so much for that. And what a captivating speech overall Toastmaster Shobit has given to all of us. To begin with, we all had a whale of time hearing your speech. Thank you so much for that. It was really informative and engaging throughout. Now, frankly, I didn't know that I was supposed to come here for evaluations, and that's why I didn't even take the notes. And with that, there are few things which I still have it in my mind. That is, the left brain works for logical thinking, math, calculations, facts, figures, everything that you told. And the right brain works for creativity and communications, and they remember faces. So I'm still perplexed whether which category I fall into. Okay? But it was really captivating and engaging throughout. Superb start, and you completely engaged the audience. That was the best part about the speech. I'm sure we all were involved into some or other thing. If not into the activity, our mind was working, which brain is actually working with us. So we were all occupied. Okay. So the superb gestures which all captivated our attention, and we were totally hooked to whatever he was trying to tell us. I have few recommendations for our Toastmaster. That is, I'm sure whenever the topics are introduced, you can always start with being a little, people should be suspicious about it, that what is it when you talk about it. So you could raise a question there and just grab the attention, be totally engaged. For example, ask in the beginning whoever is working with the left brain and whoever. So everybody, I'm sure nobody will be knowing. They all will be having a big question on what is he going to talk about. So that's where he can work. And you can use your voice modulation and the stage mode. Overall, I would like to say you can cut down on your examples also. With that, I would like to end that totally engaging and captivating speech and top-notch by all means. I'm sure looking forward for more speeches. Such speeches. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the evaluation, Toastmaster Parita. The next evaluator, Nikun. So the next evaluator is Toastmaster Sakshi. Number 5, Toastmaster Sakshi. Toastmaster Sakshi participant.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayur. First of all, congratulations, Toastmaster Shobit, for giving a presentation master speech in such an engaging way. Your speech was so engaging that I was sitting at the edge of my seat throughout your speech. So throughout your speech, you're walking from right to left, so you're using the entire stage. Then we also used your hand gestures for showing right side of the brain and left side of the brain. We also had an engaging smile, so there was a transfer of energy. Coming to the delivery of the speech, there was a role transition, right from a speaker to an activity conductor. He also clapped his hands to raise the energy of the platform too, so that people would engage, people would raise their hands. And this transition was done very smooth. Coming to the voice modulation, he would clearly, whenever he was giving examples, he would use, if you are a left brain person, for example, there is a clear visualization. You could remember faces. So this tonality was added to his speech. Overall, the speech was a scenic beauty like a rainbow, but we could have added more colors to it, like did you realize that while he was moving from right to left, he could have also, from my point of view, could have also had an eye contact with the left side of the stage, from the left side of the people who were sitting to the left side. Then, while you were transitioning from your activity conductor phase to conclude as a speaker, you could have given a pause so that people could have understood that yes, you are proceeding towards the end of the speech. So now let's put it all together. First, the body language, the overall movement was amazing. Hand gestures was amazing. Your speech was clear. You had a smile on your face. Overall delivery, you had a good transition from one phase to other. Use of voice modulation was clear. And coming to the recommendation, you could have just had an eye contact with the left side of the people and a pause. Overall, I look forward to hearing more speeches from you. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you for the evaluation, Toastmaster Sakshi. We have our next evaluator, Toastmaster Sakshi. It's not yet. The next Toastmaster, Anurag is not evaluated.
Sagar is not here. You are Anurag.
It's okay. Deepak.
Number 6, Toastmaster Deepak, participant number 6.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Today, my speaker, Toastmaster Shobit, asks a question. Are you a left brain or a right brain? So when he asked this question, I wondered, till now I thought I have only one brain, right? So I think some of them have thought the same thought what I have. And when he started with left brain, right brain, I thought it is because it's related to biology. Some of them not much interested in biology. So I thought this is going to might be a little bit technical jargons and all. But our speaker, Shobit, explained very simplified what left brain and right brain is, right? And he then, the flow was very brilliant. He come to how the brain functions. He said about how the stimuli is created, all these things, how the body, how body receives the signals and how it, all these things. So, what I said, our speaker, when he actually narrated left brain and right brain, so actually one question arises: how it matters to me, right? Whether I have some left brain or right brain. So he started engaging the audience with the different exercises, right? Different types of exercises. You all know, like blinking eyes, all these exercises. And I hopeful that some of them able to understand what is their strength and weakness, not weakness, whether they have left brain or right brain. Right? And the main important thing, what he said in his speech is the engagement, the topic, what he said, the brain dominance, how it affects the decision, the choices we made day-to-day activities. That is where the curiosity occurs. Oh, so day-to-day activities, what the decision I am taking, it has some effect on the left brain and right brain, right? And he clearly explained it. Left brain, they're into technical, all these things. And if it is right brain, very creative, artistic, all these things. And so, as I said, he gave a very simple explanation, engaging the audience so much, and the body language was superb. Whenever he said left brain, right brain, and different activities, he used all the whatever he can use. He knows all these things. The main thing is he engaged a lot. And I just one recommendation is if you could end with if someone wants to improve their left brain, how you can what are the activities. That's the one thing. And, I would like to hear more speech like that. That is the only recommendation. If you add recommendation how we can improve our level, someone want to increase left brain, what are the activities? Just add that. It would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback, Toastmaster Deepak. And I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sangesh to give his feedback. So the next participant, Toastmaster Anurag.
Two more.
participant number 7, Toastmaster Anurag. Toastmaster Anurag, participant.
So before I start, it was a very good speech by Toastmaster Shobit. I'm sorry if my evaluation is not up to the mark because I'm right-handed, right brain dominant. Toastmaster Shobit started strongly with a question involving are you left-sided brain or right-sided brain? So he engaged the audience very good, and he used the stage very efficiently and with ample hand expressions. Also, he conducted 5 activities to determine whether somebody is a left brain person or a right brain person. And it really worked well with the audience. I would like to make some small recommendations for Toastmaster Shobit. The activity involving the determination of right brain and left brain was a bit confusing for some people. So he could have worked a bit more on that. He could have used the phrase of the day and word of the day. And so overall, it was a very good speech by Toastmaster Shobit. I had to really nitpick to find any weaknesses. And I'm sure everybody now knows a lot more about their brain. And with some recommendation, it will be a perfect speech.
Thank you for the evaluation, Toastmaster Anurag. The next participant, Toastmaster Ashwini. Toastmaster Ashwini, participant.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, good-looking audience, and handsome judge. So here I am. First, I'm going to evaluate Toastmaster Shobit. So I think 4 words describe your speech. Fantastic. In case you didn't notice that fantastic word, the spelling I was saying is fantastic. That means math is not my strong point. Okay. So, but what I will do is focus on the strong point in your speech. I love your speech. Your speech was very organized. Your energy level was very great, and your confident level, it is superb. And what I noticed that initially at the beginning of your speech, you started asking questions to audience so that they can focus on you. They can participate in that. So the good participation of audience, then the good usage of humors like doing exercises like this, close, open, whatever you did. So very good humor you used over there. Your speech was very informative, entertaining, so that our intelligent audience today got to know that we have 2 brains. Then your speech was like a cake with icing, but I think there's something missing, like a sprinkle or chocolate chips, on which we are very creative, right? We like that one. So as everybody like icing cake, but without a sprinkle, it is not a cake, or you can say birthday cake. So let me add some value point or icing or sprinkles on your cake. So my first sprinkle is use the power of pause. Okay, when you ask some questions, you have to take a pause, give some time to audience so that they can think and they can reply back. Then my second icing is that you should give some examples in your speech. Like you told that there are some left brain prickles or right hand brain prickles. So we know that our famous actor, Bollywood actor Amitabh Bachchan, he is left-handed. So he is left-handed. That means he is right brain is very powerful. So please add such a famous personality so that audience will get clear idea of that. So overall, your speech was very nice. Listening your speech, I had a well of a time. I didn't see any shadow of repetition in your speech, and it was great. If you add some whatever suggestion or some adjustment you will do in your speech, like usage of a power pause, and give more examples in your speech, it will be even better. And I'm confident that after your hours of practice, people are now lining up to hear your speech. Over to you.
Thank you for such a great evaluation, Toastmaster Ashwin. And today's evaluations were quite wonderful. So many people, so many evaluators came on stage and shared their insights or their viewpoints on the speaker's speech. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Meenakshi for the timer.
So the timing guideline was 2 to 3 minutes with 30 seconds of grace on either side. Toastmaster Chetan took 2 minutes and 35 seconds, so he's like slightly gone above. No, sorry, he's within time. Toastmaster Vidya, 3 minutes 21 seconds. Toastmaster Simran, 3 minutes 36 seconds, so gone slightly above. Toastmaster Parita, 3:23. Toastmaster Sakshi, 2:58. Toastmaster Deepak, 3:34, so he's also gone slightly above. Toastmaster Anurag, 1 minute 19 seconds, so he's under time. And Toastmaster Ashwini just in the brink, 3 minute 29 seconds. So although today we don't have any voting, this is just part of your evaluation.
Thank you for the report, Toastmaster Meenakshi. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sangesh to give evaluation for the remaining.
So Toastmaster Parita was the next participant. So Toastmaster Parita, again, a great way you started yourself with a question. You asked, you continued with where the speaker left off. So you came over here and you asked like how many people are right brain, left brain, and how many people are perfect. So that was a great way to begin the question. Your feedback, great technique, I would say. And you shared like you yourself have perfect. And you clearly identify the strengths. So again, in terms of analytical, so great points. So you had a proper this, like started with question and then the left brain, right brain, and completely engaged the audience, and you elaborated on that. So you identified on 4 commendations and elaborated on each of it. So which was a great way of putting forth your feedback. In terms of improvement as well, you mentioned people should be suspicious. So suspicious is kind of it has a negative connotation. So maybe you can say inquisitive or curious, something that you can reflect upon while giving something that much. So better word usage is something I would suggest for you to work upon. And also great recommendation in terms of who will be working with left brain or right brain. So you mentioned that in terms of recommendation. And also while giving your feedback, I would suggest that we generally practice. It's like we say, it's I felt or I heard or I listened. One place you had mentioned that we all felt that. So instead of being a representative of all the audience, so that is something we suggest. One of the best practices. So again, those were a great takeaway. Like you also mentioned your takeaway, like you realize whether you are left brain or right brain. So that also is great. So thank you, Toastmaster. Toastmaster Sakshi, great feedback. I know you have just joined recently and it did not seem like you are giving the feedback for the first time. So you commended the speaker and you mentioned, identified all the strengths which are there. What I would mention is probably prioritize. So you had around 7 to 8 strengths, the good points for the speaker. I would suggest probably identify 3 or 4 commendations. That will again help you in terms of summary. So instead of just mentioning a generic, so you can actually again go back and mention which are the 3 or 4 points. But again, great observation. You also had a great technique in terms of transition. So I like the phrase which you use, scenic beauty like rainbow, and let me help add more colors. So that was again a good usage of phrase and shows your preparation as well for evaluation. And in terms of recommendation, again, great observation, like you mentioned, I could have looked at the left side of the audience over here, so they don't feel ignored. And one thing I would suggest is pause in between could have helped improve. So if you could have actually given a statement where the pause could have been. So in recommendation, we always suggest how to incorporate that advice. So that would always uplift your feedback. So thank you, Toastmaster Sakshi. Again, great feedback. Toastmaster Deepak, great feedback. Again, you brought in that personal element. Like, I'm sure many of us feel that, like, people who are not from science background, when biology is brought in, so that brought that personal element. When you said that the moment it was left brain, the right brain, you were a bit hesitant. Is it going into biology? But again, you commended the speaker, like how he simplified. So great technique over that. What I would recommend is to focus more on the strength, identify and prioritize. So you had around 6 to 7 items which you commended the speaker. Identify which called upon you the most out of all the items which you had mentioned. So out of that, share maybe 2 or 3, depending on the time. And again, I would recommend for everyone, so you can elaborate on that point as sub-points within the main point. So when you are saying maybe voice model, so within that you can mention maybe confident, you had a good vocabulary. So it all comes down to, in the end, if you can summarize those 2 or 3 good points instead of listing it separately. So great feedback. Again, I know you are providing the feedback for the first time. So hats off to you for having the confidence and courage and participating in the workshop. And another thing which I would say is summary. Do summarize all the points. What are recommendation you mentioned? Because 15 points is for that. Again, a warm round of applause. Toastmaster Anurag, it is always a pleasure. You bring in humor in every aspect, be it speech or evaluation. So that again, I say, adds to your technique as an evaluator as well. So one thing I would say, which I heard was that you mentioned before I start. The moment you came over here, you have already started. So you don't have to again mention before I start. So kind of grammar, I would say that. And again, own it. The moment you are on the stage, act confident. I would suggest is don't apologize, like whether my feedback will be validated or not. It is that. So as an evaluator, you come over here, what you say is important and will all be good. And you had great feedback as well. Like what kind of hand expressions you commended the strengths. Like the speaker came and asked a question. So that was a great commendation. Again, ample lot of hand expression. And in terms of areas of improvement, you touched upon the point, it was a bit confusing to the people. So that again was a great takeaway for speaker, how the speaker can work upon that. So that can be removed. And in summary, I would say, you mentioned about hand expression. So you could have mentioned which were the aspects where the hand expressions were good. If you could have emphasized that one word or sentence, that would have helped. And again, I would emphasize on summarize. So thank you, Toastmaster Anurag. Toastmaster Ashwini, great way to start the figure. It's a fun task. So the way you emphasized on that fun aspect, it really caught my attention, and you brought your own aspect as laughter, that activity, that maths is not your strong. So that helps us to know like how that speech impacted you for you to identify your own strengths. So that again also was a great technique. You identify the strengths very nicely, like well researched, confident, energy. And you also commented on the speaker on asking the questions. Again, in your case, I really like your transition from strengths to the areas of improvement. That is, you had a speech which was a cake with icing, and let me add sprinkles to it. So that again shows like you had put in time and effort in terms of preparing for that evaluation. So beautiful transition, I would say. And again, in terms of power of pause, you elaborate, you identify the area of improvement, power of pause, and said how to use it. Like ask question and then wait till the audience can respond. So it actually elaborated how to use that particular area of improvement, the power of pause. So again, great feedback. And second recommendation also example. We also gave the example of Amitabh Bachchan and his left hand. So that again is, I would say, a well-rounded recommendation. So you identify the area and you elaborate on how to adopt and evolve it in the speech. And you at the end summarize well also. So great feedback. So with that, individual evaluations are over. Just a couple of things I would like to emphasize upon is everybody went out, but I had not mentioned beforehand, you won't be able to refer the notes once you're out. So I don't know if somebody referred or not referred. So just emphasizing in case you have referred. So once you go out to the breakout room, you won't be able to refer the notes. Understood, Parinda? So you have written. So there are 6 contestants. Okay. So we want to maintain fairness. So the first contestant and the 6th contestant will get equal time in terms of preparation. So you won't be able to refer the notes when you're outside. You either you have to hand it over to the sergeant at arms so that that person can give it, or close and keep it. So in online we close and keep it. So you cannot refer your notes or prepare. So the first speaker and the last speaker will get equal time to prepare. So today at the beginning I forgot to mention that. So the reason is as the speakers are coming late, I felt they were becoming better and better. So I felt that. And second thing would be in terms of summarization, ensure that a couple of speakers I felt the summarizing was left out. So when middle of the year, I would recommend start summarizing. So that's it. And all the best to all the contestants. And yeah.
The contestants can refer to their sheets when they're there.
Yes, they can refer.
They will be given back.
They will be given back. So before coming, Sa will give to them, and from that they can start referring. Yeah, phones also. Any other questions, anyone?
What recommendation would you like to give to show it for the speech? Just a recommendation part. Okay, that's right.
I think most are covered. My brain is overloaded. Both left side and right side. One thing probably would be, I think, very good recommendations given by all the people out here. If you want, you can connect with me. I have written a couple of them. I think Ashwini's was one of the things which got actually power of pause and she actually elaborated. Even Vidya side, like you joined later, so she said stage, like you own the speech, you could have owned the stage, and she actually came over here and used the stage, how to do it. So those two were good. One probably, if I have to say, would be like use the stage, like when you're speaking about the left brain, probably stand over here, like left brain, and when you're speaking about right brain, stand over here. So there is a clear distinction and conscious movement. And again, when you're talking about different aspects of the brain, during your speech, accordingly move to the left side or right side. You had.
So we need to look at the person who is the speaker, right? So in this contest, we have one speaker or the number of speakers. Are we looking at the speaker? Because while everyone was coming and giving their evaluation, I saw like right now you are seeing individual of the evaluators, taking their eyes and talking to them and giving evaluations. And the other ones who came, they were actually coming to the crowd. Yes, they were referring to show them, but it was actually coming like eye contact is coming to everyone. So what is to be followed?
What was done by the participants is need to be followed. Like when as an evaluator you are speaking over here, it's kind of a performance. So you are speaking to all the audience. So that is what needs to be followed. In my case, since I had to give it for 4 people, so I was focusing more on in terms of adding value to the particular speaker. But over here, while speaking, you have to look at the whole audience. Maybe you can see the target speaker in between, because that is here. But in general, you have to cover the whole audience. Because again, you are speaking for 2 to 3 minutes, you are putting out a performance, and all the audience are out there to listen to you.
That brings up a follow-up question. Are there any points for the eye contact or for the evaluating? So while evaluating, when you said the focus is on the analytical content, it is on recommendation, it's on technique and summation. So does the eye contact of the evaluator really matter?
It matters because when the voting
It's more subjective.
yeah, that is not a parameter for that. In the ballot, there is no parameter, but it definitely adds to you as a speaker. Now, when I'm looking at this and saying, it makes a difference without looking at saying. When I'm giving the feedback to individual participants, just looking at them, and just if I'm having a whole plan, so that makes a difference. Now, how like Jyoti asked me, like, should I be just looking at the person? So, though I'm giving the feedback just for that person, but if I look everyone, everybody will feel involved. Though there is no marks for that, that makes that difference when we are being planned. So, in terms of eyesight, I would say you have to, it adds to it. There is no particular. Now, in terms of transition, how a couple of people brought in that icing on, that adds value to that. But if you look at the ballot, there is no particular point where it's mentioned. Just a minute. Yes.
One thing. So feedback is to the speaker. So you feedback is I observe that, but we are speaking to the speaker. One observation was some of the evaluators said he did that. So it is not that we are telling what the speaker did to the audience. So one way can be to when we are using that specific word that you did that, look at the speaker. And when that word is not being spoken, for the remaining of the sentence or the for next couple of sentences, we can look at the audience. But it has to be you and me. Not he did that or she did that, because we are not telling what speaker did to others.
Thanks. Yeah, great point. So that is something you can definitely take away. And
reiterate that point. You can reiterate.
So when you are giving the feedback as a contestant over here, so instead of saying he, referring in the third person, so you can refer as the test speaker or you. And while saying that, you can have that eye contact because now you're referring to that person in particular. So then you can look at Shobit, like the test speaker brought in this or the Shobit brought in this. So that is one in terms of eye contact, and in terms of word usage, instead of saying he or she, since the person is already in the room, you can say as test speaker or Shobit. Yes.
Toastmaster Anand is asking, are there any points for delivery or style of evaluation?
Hey, hi Anand. Can you repeat the question?
Are there any points for delivery or style of evaluation?
Can he elaborate delivery or style? What does he mean? Because if it's referring to technique, that is points for technique. Is it different from technique or is he referring to skill?
What I feel is that evaluation speech, we say evaluation speech, it's a speech. All the speakers, they are competing with each other, and when they are doing that, then content, style, delivery, all these things will come
in. It makes a difference, right? Like if you are coming over here, you are well dressed, you are in a blazer, or you're wearing a t-shirt. Before you speak, that creates a kind of. Now, it's not meant to say that there is a point for that. Definitely, if you ask, there is no point for it, but that creates a kind of aura. So, definitely, your style, performance for everything that matters. Now, if I ask, like, give me a glass of water, can you please bring me a glass of water? I'm thirsty. So, the way of saying that makes that difference. So, technique and style will make a difference.
The question that I asked initially about the props, because I've seen many speakers coming with balloons, or if I still remember Santosh Gela's first speech, he broke the pen. Something like that. Remember? First icebreaker, he broke the pen. So you are doing some kind of a gimmick, which again attracts attention, which adds some value to the speech, to the communication that you are trying to give to the audience.
Now, the main thing is we don't know what the test speaker is going to speak about. So getting that prop can be a challenge. But in, let's say in Shobik's case, you happen to see a model over here. Since it's a college with a left brain, right brain, you can very well have taken it and used it and said, okay, look at a left brain and right brain. So listening to the speech, if you can get some prop in that 5 minutes, definitely it will
I
make
see the speakers with backwards and multiple pockets, and they know in which pocket. And which pocket they have some.
Speaker bringing the prop.
test.
No.
Evaluator.
Evaluator also, and in table topics also. Table topics also.
So these are all specific to the contest you guys are talking about.
No, any you can come up with a prop and with
That is not planned, so whatever you have, you will display, right?
So there are certain-
Planned how much can.
there are certain common things which you can keep with you and you can use it. You can fit it. There are many speakers who will come up with a code and they have to use that code somehow.
In fact, I've seen some of the evaluators carrying back lines, prepared lines.
Yeah.
And some of that the user may not have, I mean, the speaker may not have done, but still they added for the emphasis. Judges know those things in most cases.
Yeah.
At the higher levels, the judges know. So these are pranks which are used. Yeah. So sometimes successful.
It is a this, it's an add-on.
Actually, table topics is usually much more successful in table topics. Because in table topics, things are unknown. In evaluation, still there are just so much structure to the book.
When I went to judge some of these contests, it was like surprising that this is the speaker never did all this. So, where is the evaluation coming from?
that even I have seen that. It all comes down, I would say, preparation helps definitely. The more you practice, the more framework idea you have, it adds on to your performance. But then it should not come out of like how you mentioned, the speaker said A thing and you are giving feedback on the B thing, like B, C, because you prepared and came on that B, C. So it should be used in such a way that it looks natural and it's relevant to the speaker. Because if it's not, definitely the audience is very smart, the judges are smart, they will realize okay. So there is no harm in preparation, but it should be relevant to the speaker. So we'll take a break right now. So, and come back. 5 minute break. So thank you everyone. Yeah.
You need projector.
Hey, welcome back.
Low battery.
Hi, Arun.
Direct है ना?
हाँ हाँ आ गया
Hi.
ए हाय अरुण मीनाक्षी का बहुत काम कर रहा है ये साउंड बहुत
I didn't
And
say
then he's
pause the recording for
statue.
yeah
Who all are there?
no Santosh and but he left
Thanks, Anand. Thanks for
Thank you.
any feedback for me. Later,
Sorry,
we'll
that's
connect
fine.
on call.
Maybe you can pause the recording.
This someone's here to talk to you. Surprise.
New member, Swapnil.
Yeah, hi Swapnil. Hey, nice to connect with you.
Yes, from beginning itself, he is confident. And however, the fear of the change is also constant. We as a humans, we like routines. We like to have control in our lives. But the fear of change, when it becomes irrational and the control becomes a phobia, it is called metastosophoria. So this phobia is a fear of change and wants to remain in its own cocoon. He does not want to explore. With this, I would like to hand over the session to Toastmaster Meenakshi and Toastmaster Libby to conduct an informative session.
Good evening, everyone. Yes. So I thought that we could conduct this session because a lot of new people who have recently joined and they are yet to know about the structure of a Toastmasters, or what is a club, what is an area. So before we start, does everybody know the name of our club? Agnes Toastmasters. And Agnel, not Agnes. 3 minus 5. So which area does our Agnel Toastmasters come in? M2. Yes, M2. So what exactly is an area? Home clubs. Yes. Could be 5 also, like 4.
Can we have some of the new members answer? So maybe Nikunj, Mayur.
So what is after an area? So club is the lowest. Yes, division. I think that was the unanimous answer. Division is correct. So club, area, and then division. And after
Not punished.
and after division, district. Yes. So which is our district? 98. Yes. Yes.
So when Meenakshi asked you about the club, what else do you know about the club? Have you heard the term executive committee, EXCOM? Suna hai? Anybody? Suna hai?
Not the existing or the previous EXCOM.
So what have you heard? Suna hai?
I heard that EXCOM members and stuff. I don't know.
Actually, you don't know what it is. Anybody else from the newer members? Anybody knows when we say EXCOM? Anybody?
What is the full form of it?
EXCOM.
Yes, correct.
It's the executive committee. Okay. So, how many members do you think are there in an executive committee of a Toastmasters club? Somebody said 7, I heard 5 somewhere. That was the right answer, though not the answer we were expecting. So yeah, 7 is primarily what is known, but actually there are 8 members in the executive committee. Okay, since you said 5 below 10, can you name some of them? If you can get it in the hierarchy, that would be nice.
Hierarchy is in from top. You clarify that also.
Top. सबसे ऊपर कौन? वो तो रहेंगे. Yes. So the president of the club.
And who is the president of our club?
Thank you. Okay.
Anand is saying सबसे perfect.
Oh.
There's a concept of reverse pyramid. Arthur, right?
Yes.
It's a concept of servant leadership.
Yes, it starts with the member and then goes up.
President ideally. It's the president to say that I'm not supporting.
So this is just for intents and purposes of this discussion so that you guys know what an executive committee is.
So what takes up?
VP education.
Yes, and who's the VP education for us? Okay, and what does the VP education do?
Tracks the progress of the meetings.
Encourage members to participate in technical work.
Is that what it means?
Sorry?
Correct. Okay, I think you guys have some idea about what a VP education is. The next?
VP membership.
And who's that?
Media.
And what does a VP membership do? Chase
More
everybody.
improvements.
Chase everybody. Yeah, basically VP membership is responsible obviously for increasing the membership of the club, ensuring that the existing members are attending the club, kind of touch base with all members and future members and guests, welcoming the guests, etc. The next ExCom member would be is an ExCom member. Yeah. Yes. Who's that for our club? चलो शुरू तुम्हें बता दो क्या करते हो club के साथ.
Basically, our work for weekly PR is to maintain the relation between the club and the members and the public, yes, everyone, through social media handles, through news media.
Doing the creative work.
Basically, he does all PR related work for the club. He gets the lead, I convert the leads. So, if I have to put it in those terms. Next.
Next. Okay, and what does the secretary do?
Who is our secretary? Saish?
Yes, please
let everybody know.
Yeah, so I maintain the records, like creating agendas, the minutes of the meeting. These are the most major tasks that I do as.
So basically minutes of meeting and keeping a record of all anything that happens in a Toastmasters meeting. And the next. Yes, treasurer. And who's the treasurer for our club?
He has some personal commitment, so he's not been able to attend meetings for a long time. So, but we are sure we are expecting him to join hopefully in a month or so.
And I think the treasurer, the name itself speaks for itself. What is the meaning of a treasurer? So anything money related goes to him. So all the chai and the biscuits that we are having is from his approval that he is approved, and that's why we are having. And last but not the least is
who's that for us? Only Simran knows all the answers.
So DTM minutes away.
I'm responsible for the logistics and kind of logistics management for the club. I'm supposed to keep meeting room ready when all of you arrive. I'm supposed to make sure that all the stationery everything is here for the club. If meeting room is not available, then
Yeah.
Don't forget the biscuits.
Biscuits and thank you. And Libby mentioned one more is there. So we covered 7 now. Which is the other one?
Simran.
Simran.
Mute.
Mute.
you know who's going to be in the next.
Yeah. Yes, it stands for IPP, stands for immediate past president. So who was the president in the last term? What is the Toastmasters term? So it's a 1 year, but when does it start? When does it end? Yes. Thank you, Toastmasters Swapnil. It is July to June. So 1st July to 30th June of the next year.
That's the ex-con term. I'm assuming you got confused with the
Renewal term. Okay. So who was the immediate past president for our club?
You all seen him those take up several roles.
Yeah.
We all look up to him.
So this was the aid that comes in an ex-con. So can somebody quickly repeat one of the new members?
So it's president, then
Taken notes.
then VP education, then VP membership, then VP PR, then secretary, treasurer, sergeant of arms,
Sergeant
sergeant at arms, and then one another is IPP, immediate past.
Yeah.
Exco has to be 7 members. IPP is not part of the executive committee.
He ideally is part of the, he's more in an advisory role.
Advisory.
Yeah.
Advisory and execution.
No, but he does have certain rights. He is considered as part of the, not of, even I came to know that when I became the executive, part of the executive committee. He does reserve certain rights and yes, definitely in an advisory capacity, but he can also in case.
Even the leadership of Toastmasters mentions only 7 groups. I am aware that few advisory is different and execution is different.
Executive committee consists of 7 members, but when we are having more executive committee meetings, when we are doing all the deliberations, then IPP has to be a part.
Okay, so that is about our club. And as we mentioned, our club comes in area. And who is the area director of our club? He is an area director.
He
But
came
for
last meeting. He was here for our last meeting.
Yes.
General evaluation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Rajendra Patel. Yes, he is the area for area M2, area director. And as you mentioned, Toastmaster Anand and Toastmaster Sangeeta, who are our 2 very important members, they are also area directors in some other areas. So Sangeeta is for area M1 and Anand is for area M4.
He actually fall in division M. Division M has 4 areas which are M1, M2, M3 and M4. Admin falls in M2. And we've been fortunate to have very enterprising leaders who are also area directors for other areas. So she mentioned Anand and Sangeeta. Kavita Kanu. Division director is Kavita Kanu.
For entire division M has 4 different areas, M1, M2, M3.
And then we belong to district 98. District 98 director is
Sapna.
And district 98 belongs to region 13 and region 13, obviously Toastmaster introduction. That is the hierarchy.
So as part of the entire district 98 that we have, there are 2 other important roles, like we mentioned Sapna, ATM Sapna, but there are 2 other important, so PQD and CGD. So PQD stands for Program Quality Director, which Toastmaster Vinay will be able to explain very well what is the role of a PQD.
Yeah, so program after district director is the overall head of the district. Program quality director is more in terms of quality of the training programs, ACP goals, all these kind of things. And then growth in terms of clubs does not fall under it. In terms of how many members, number of clubs, more number of clubs, that comes to the club growth director. Program quality director takes care of the ECP program, takes care of the training program. I have been the last PQD supervisor.
Agnes Club can actually boast of having very distinguished Toastmasters among us who have reached several levels. In fact, Sanish was a division director in his previous term. He was our president and he was also awarded the division director of the year for last year. I have a lot of points to post about.
And TDM Vinay mentioned about CGD, that is Club Road Director. Distinguished Toastmaster Hardik is Ankit is the Club Road Director, and he's also been our Agile past member. So as she said, we boast a lot of leaders at the top. And Toastmaster Hardik is the PQD, current PQD. So just a few names that I think we should keep in mind.
So when it comes to club, even Toastmaster International expects all clubs to have certain standards, and to maintain those standards, they have established something called the Distinguished Club Program. Now, there are several aspects to a Distinguished Club Program, and you are awarded points based on those when you fulfill those aspects. So, each club is expected to compete for the Distinguished Club position. So, now there are total 10 points that can be earned under the Distinguished Club Program. So I'll give you the four main category of points that are there. One is your education goals, second is your membership goals, third is your officer training goals, and fourth is the administration goals. Now each of these goals are split into several sub points where, and when you achieve each of those points is when you get these points. Out of the 10, if you achieve 5 points, you are termed as a distinguished club. If you achieve 7 points, you are termed as a select distinguished club. And if you achieve 9 points, then you are termed as a president's distinguished club. Now, we were a president's distinguished club last year. And right now, our status is out of the 7 points, we have achieved 7 points. Sorry. Out of 10, we have achieved 7 points. So obviously we aim to achieve. Besides that, Toastmaster International also runs several membership programs. 3 of them are Navi Awards, Talk of Toastmasters, and Beat the Clock. So what these awards entail is we are required to enlist 5 members at a certain time during the year. So Medley Awards, you are expected to get 5 members to join the club between 1st August and 30th September. Talk of Toastmasters between 1st February and 31st March. Beat the Clock between 1st May and 30th June. So this is where we would need your help. During these months, I would definitely be coming to you and asking you guys to refer friends, family. We'll be having open houses, things like that, whatever it takes to achieve the targets, basically.
And we have achieved the Smedley.
Yeah, we've achieved the Smedley award. So
July to August the 7th.
And other than Toastmaster International, District 98 also has set certain awards to encourage clubs to have better club quality, to ensure that the members are achieving their levels, doing prepared speeches. Obviously, membership is another goal that's there. So there's something called Gems of 98. Again, they have 3 categories: silver, gold, and diamond. Being Agnew, we are obviously aiming for the diamond award. So diamond also has.
They also have a lot of criteria like education goals. There are criteria that needs to be met. Membership wise, there are some things that need to be met. For example, if you remember, Moments of Truth being conducted in July, where we asked the members to be very honest and give feedback. That was one of the criteria that every term you need to conduct 2 Moments of Truth. Then open house we had last week, if you remember. So there is a criteria that 2 open houses need to be conducted before April of the next year. And we need to bring in 5 new members after the open house has been conducted. So we have been lucky enough to achieve that. Last week was the open house and we have got 5 new members.
So and one of the qualifying.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of actually criteria to actually get the Diamond Club award, and it's not easy. In fact, on the group I have sent you all the PPT. When you get time, if you go through it, you can actually figure out what is what. So,
for example, for education, I can talk about where 15 unique path completions have to be done. Unique, not. So, for example, if I have done level 1, I will be counted only in level 1. I will not be again counted in level 2. So that way, 15 unique. And can you guess that till now, where have we achieved? So it's just been 3 months now, July, August, September. Out of 15 unique path completions, we are at, just a guess, 10. Very optimistic. Somebody said 7. Yeah, close 8. We are at 8. So almost more than half we have done. Yes, he was part of the level 4 completion.
So the basic qualifying criteria for Diamond Awards is that it should have base plus 1 member. So when we started our term, we were at 41 members. So by the time we end, we are expecting to have 42 members. So that's the only way we qualify. Even if we achieve all the other criteria, if we don't qualify, then we might not get the term.
And one of the most important criteria in Diamond is the contest. We need to have both the contests. Like next meeting, that is 15th of October, we are having both our ISC and PSC on the same day. And there is also one criteria that our members should become a chief judge in some other club contest, which they need help. So there have to be 3 minimum unique members who have become chief judge in some other contest, and 6 unique members who have gone and become voting judges in some other. So if anybody wants to become a chief judge and just to know how the whole thing operates, you can reach out to us. We'll help you that this particular club is the chief judge for their contest, so you can definitely help out with it.
If you are a chief judge, we need to have gone through a chief judge's training.
It's just an assessment that online that you need to fill up the form.
So there's
no criteria. No. For the club level, there is no criteria.
So along with the Diamond Awards, District 98 has come up with a lot of awards. Actually, we wish we had the slideshow. We could have shown you each of those awards. Unfortunately, it's not there. But I've shared it in the group. So whenever you guys get time, just have a look at it. I'll just read out some, though you wouldn't know what the criteria are for these awards. I'll just read it out. There is Power Up, Hello Speddy, Retention Champs, Torch Bearers, Express Club, Excellence in Education, Growth Leader, Helping Hand, Teachers. These are a few of the awards that we aim to achieve through the next year, to June, till June. And we have achieved a few of them actually.
So I would want to talk about the helping hand and the growth leader. So for example, if you are part of a corporate and you want a Toastmasters club to be established in that corporate, and through your lead that club has actually become successful, the demo meetings have gone through and the club has actually been formed, it gives credit to us and credit to you as an individual member. So anybody who's thinking that in my corporate there should be a Toastmasters club, please reach out. That will really be your friend.
So it's a corporate or a Rotary club? One of the two. You want to say what happened? Along with all the awards that are present for clubs, there are also 3 specifically for individual members. One is the Distinguished Toastmasters Club, basically achieving a Distinguished Toastmaster status, which
TDM Vinay S.
So he becomes our example for a lot of achievements of the club.
The criteria is 2 pathway completions, and you have to have served as a club officer and as an area level, like a district officer, and also there is one project that needs to be completed. So he has completed all that, and now he's a DTM. So you want to say something about?
I have completed DTM and the previous, so now we are providing the pathways curriculum. Previously it was a traditional curriculum wherein the manuals were different. Now we have changed. Again, everything remains the same. You have to complete 2 parts. The pathways is much more practical, much more aligned to the practical scenarios. The earlier one was kind of a bit bookish. This is much more improved when you learn certain things. You learn to blog. There are various character blogs. At every level, you have 7, 6, 7 projects, and one of these electives will be at various levels. There are 11 parts. So earlier, it was just one CCCL, that's it, and certain manuals. Now you have 11 parts, which means that you have a scope for completing ADM at least 5 times. If you have also served as a district officer, there are a lot of possibilities, opportunities. May I just add certain things?
Yes.
So you might be bogged down by whatever number of calls you are saying. From members' perspective, my request is please come to the meeting, please attend meeting, please take roles. That's it. If you do this, quality will come in the meetings and we'll get all the awards. Last time we had 23 awards, which is highest in District 98. And last year, District 98 was the district with more than 250 clubs, which means Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, MP, Gujarat, Goa. In all this territory, Agner was number 1. And how did this happen? Primarily because of members. So, EXCOM will take care of filing, EXCOM will take care of all these things. From members' perspective, my request to every member, everyone is enthusiastically take roles, come to each and every meeting, improve the quality of the meeting. We have mentors, we have on-site mentors, we have official mentors, take the help of them. And that's how the club grows and that's how we get the diamond.
Just to add one more point to that, quite a few people don't know that once you're a Toastmaster member at one club, you can attend Toastmasters meetings anywhere around the world. So that came up in one of my conversations last week. And if you want to take up more roles, if you want to take up more speaking assignments at any other Toastmasters club anywhere in the world, you can go. That obviously includes Mumbai and other clubs. So last week, for example, I was a guest speaker at Harvard Toastmasters Club. That was also my icebreaker speech in the past. That is how I am able to complete level 2 before the speech contest. Let's see how
We are looking for you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And that brings me to the last part of this presentation. That is, this year, our district has had a new award that is called as the Leader in Me Award. So I know what you all are wondering, and just to add to what DK Vinay said, that all we need to do is be regular and take up roles. And this award will definitely make you push you further for that. There are about 10 projects in that form of Leader in Me, and you have to complete any 8 projects. So for example, I'll just read this out. Project 1, listening. In that there are 4 roles. You can complete any 2 out of 4 for this particular project to unlock. Accounter, evaluator, grammarian, table topic speaker. Isn't this easy? Like this, we do table topic speaker. I think we just come and take up, and this one is ticked. Accounter today, Sweta has done tick. Speech evaluator, all of you did today. 10 speech evaluators, 10 ticks today. So this is how one project gets unlocked in this. Second project, critical thinking, speech evaluator, grammarian, general evaluator. I mean, there is nothing that is out of the way for this. You just need to come regularly. So there are 10 projects, and you finish any 8, you get this award, Leader in Me Award.
So basically what Vinay said, come for meetings, take up roles, that's it. That's all you need to do.
And I think you all are wondering the 10 projects, and in that you have to do 2 each. I think by the timeline for this is till next April. From this April to next April. So 13 months, and if you're regular, this is a piece of cake, I feel. There is one project which is a little different, organization and delegation. How to help organize a club contest, speech contest, a special event. So for example, next year we will have a 300 meeting because we are just 10 away. So if you help to organize that, I think this will get covered in that. help organize a campaign or a contest or a PR campaign. So for example, we have our contest coming up next week. And if you say that I want to take it up as a PR, as my own project, that I will do the PR for the entire contest, like from start to end, the contest PR I will manage. So this will get covered in that. So this is one. And there is another project which talks about you can become a chief judge in some other contest. This will get become a contest chair in one of the contests, either ours or somebody else's. This will get sitting. So if I may share, if I have the permission, who commits that I want to achieve this Leader Me award? Yes. What happened, Vidya? Vidya, what happened? Yes. What happened, Chetan?
Disha?
Yeah.
Costume?
But you have time till next April, so.
I'm focusing on the speeches.
There are 2 for speeches as well. So there are 2 ticks for
I don't
speeches.
want to commit something that I can't.
Yeah. So I have the records of all this right from April till whatever roles you're taking till the last meeting. I have the entire form filled up for each of the members. So all 54 members that we have as on date, I have 54 different forms filled up. And if you want to get in touch with me, I will share your form, what you have to take or what you need to take the next meeting so that your particular project gets unlocked. Please get in touch with me. And if I may say, so I believe that if you say out your goals out loud, the universe will conspire to achieve them. So Toastmaster Mayur has made a very big commitment and Toastmaster Nikunj that they will achieve this by December. Is that right? Yes. So kudos to both of them for that.
Other than achieving it till April, like we are doing along with our pathways, correct?
Yes. So these are just roles like Remarian, counter.
That happens when you take up roles and you attend
It's
meetings.
automatically
Most of it gets covered.
But either what happens is that in our club, there is no issue in terms of getting role players, but still there are clubs in the district where they find or where they try to get role players till the last day. So this is all just to encourage members to take up roles, motivate them. That's it.
So if you feel that our club you're not getting roles, you can help out those clubs which he's talking about that they're not getting roles till the last day.
This we can do it online also.
Yes. And these roles are not just for our club; it is for any other. For example, if it's a 12 member who has taken membership in 2 clubs, so this will get covered.
Oh, you don't have to be a dual member. You just take up a role.
Yes.
in every club.
This doesn't mention anything about this.
Certain hours like the criteria.
Yeah, no, literally there is no mention of this bit. So
Because I'm a member of another district also.
Yeah, how we can verify that the person has taken the role in some other school?
VP Education has to send it.
So you will send the agenda or you will send the creative.
wherever
Somebody
your
will
name
send-
is mentioned that you know that they can do.
When you go and participate in the club, they will obviously, as a role player, they will share the agenda with you. So you share that
They
agenda.
have minutes of the meeting.
So if I will give an example, Toastmaster Mayur today was the TMOD and he has taken up a role tomorrow in another online meeting. So kudos.
So if you are taking any role from the perspective of learning, that is okay. But if you still share it with VP, that will be a good practice. But for any level completion or acknowledgement, then if you share it with VP, only then it will be considered. So if later on after 3 months or 4 months you say, I have done something like this, so it may not be acknowledged. For any approval from the VP, you have to share it when it is done.
So that brings us to the end of this award. If you have any questions related to membership, obviously Libby is open. Anything related to education, I'm open. So any other questions, we can take it up offline. And back to you, Toastmaster.
Just
Yes.
one more thing to add. All the members, you must have seen the XCOM rules today. So if you wish, if you want that next year we want to be in a certain position, you can even volunteer now and be a buddy to that XCOM position. So what you will gain out of that is that you will get an experience as an XCOM. Say you were a buddy to Sergeant at arms. So if I'm not there, then I'm interested. So you'll help the club and you'll also gain experience. That next year's XCOM elections are taking place. Then you can volunteer for that.
There are 2 questions. First question, how do we get to know about
entire District 98, there is a VP Education group, WhatsApp group. So I'm part of that. There will be a membership group which she is part of. So wherever the roles are required, I get that this club needs this particular role. So if you are interested in taking up maybe on a Sunday or any of the weekdays, so you can get in touch with me and I can arrange that.
She keeps on sending you messages also.
She keeps posting it on the group. She will be posting it.
And there's one group called Toastmasters of Mumbai. So earlier means 5-6 years back, that group was only for president, vice president, education, and PR. But now that is open for all. Any member can join. And there you get all the postings if somebody needs a particular role play or speech slot. So you can just join that group and you get all the information about which club has got which kind of an opening in terms of speeches.
Second question, to be part of an EXCOM, what are the criteria? Like, we can do that we can help the current.
Yes, you can be a buddy to the current
So
EXCOM.
there is a criteria that we have to give some speech.
Member understanding. Member understanding.
I had only done my
Yes,
icebreaker. I had only done my icebreaker speech when I gave the VPM. So yes.
I had not even given the icebreaker when I began.
So there is definitely no criteria. Any other questions? We just told you all this so that you can be aware of what's happening in the club, where your club is at. And you, over the year, you will hear a lot of these phrases being discussed in the group. So you should know what it is and why people are discussing that. That was the agenda for this. So if there are no more questions, then we hand it.
Debates and GDs, group discussions and Toastmasters.
There's a club called debaters and readers and debaters. Readers and debaters. You can attend the meetings so they take on certain books and debate. That comes under Toastmasters. Yeah.
Yes.
So format is same. PD formats and all those things same. With different ways we can attend the meeting. There is a group, there is a Toastmasters club in Hyderabad, which does a lot of debates. And those debates are at some different levels. They are so passionate and so excited about it.
So that's the best part. As a Toastmaster, you can travel and visit other clubs and be part of those discussions.
And we also had a debate last month in August in our own club. So we can try and incorporate more of those in the coming meetings.
Debate, panel discussion.
Yes.
So we had circulated a member interest survey around 2 months back. So if you have any interest in like debate or something like that, if you have any feedback, so you can directly message to VP or separately, and if you get sufficient feedback, like many members are interested in any particular thing, so such session can be curated maybe once a quarter or something like that.
Any specific education session that you wish to have? So today's evaluation workshop was an example of that one of the sessions that we had.
By education, you mean session of knowledge on the topic.
Yes.
Any topic.
No, so there are three by TI, there are three course series, better speaker series, better leader series. There are 3 series, and in that there are various topics in terms of how to evaluate, how to. There are many such topics that how to mentor, how to receive the mentoring, and you can request that yes, I would wish to have more of it. And there are specific, and these are very standardized manuals. TI has got PowerPoint presentations, those will be delivered by expert speaker. There will be few speakers which you will get from the club like Sanish, and we will also club for expert speakers from the other districts also, other clubs also, which we have seen earlier also. There was one ISC speaker which we had called.
Yes.
He was from Bangalore, from the other district.
Yes.
Thank you for such informative session, Toastmaster Meenakshi, Toastmaster Vicky. Now, to conclude my theme, I would like to say that today's meeting was a waste of time, and I want to give 2 takeaways based on my theme, which is change is constant. So, the first one is seeking discomfort in short term is good for long term success, and change is the only constant, and you have to accept that change if you want to grow in your life. With this, I'll call upon the grammarian to share his report, followed by the counter to share. Good evening, Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. So, as a grammarian of the day, I have noticed the good usage and incorrect usage of grammar, also of the word of the day and phrase of the day. So, good usage of grammar is Toastmaster Chetan has used pack a punch, which means to be very strong. Then some other usage was Toastmaster Sanish has used wonder upon. Paita has used top notch by all means. Sakshi has used scenic beauty like rainbow. Then some wordplay was done by Toastmaster Ashwini, was fantastic, consists of 4 words and some math problem. Then cake with icing and missing sprinkles. Some incorrect usage of words were one of the fact, it should be one of the facts, and as well as the left brain, the that should be not you can say it without that sound. Then all the great element, it should be elements. Then more stronger, it should be stronger, more is should not there. Then one of the most experienced speaker should be there, speakers should be there. Then Toastmaster Ashwini has used reply back, it should be reply only. I think that word of the day and phrase of the day was not used today so much because of this evaluation also. Word of the day was used by Vidya, Toastmaster Vidya, then Toastmaster Ashwini, and phrase of the day was used by Toastmaster Vidya, Toastmaster Simran, Toastmaster Parita, Toastmaster Ashwini, and Toastmaster TMOD Mayur, and that was my. Thank you so much.
And one short form. After we used 2 and so 1 butt and 5 hands and used also 3 times. Toastmaster Shobit used 2 and. Toastmaster Chetan used 4 and 2 short pauses. Toastmaster Vidya used 4 Toastmaster Simran used 3 and 2 1 and 1 pause and what is the twice. Toastmaster Parita used 1 1 so and 2 and. Toastmaster Sakshi used 2 3 so, 2 short pauses and coming to the use 5 times. Toastmaster Deepak used 8 and 4 short pauses, 3 long pauses, and used out the thrice and used 4. Toastmaster Anurag used 5 1 light and 2 and. Toastmaster Ashwini used 3 2 so and 2 and.
Today's meeting was quite colorful and fun, and with this I called up today's meeting. Before that, I would like to invite Toastmaster Meenakshi.
How was today's meeting? Don't say long because we know that.
It is still as by down, so nobody will say.
Okay. So hope it was fun. Like in terms of evaluations, you got to learn a lot, and also in terms of our club, how does it work? What awards? And most importantly, what is it that you can do to help us achieve those awards? With that, I bring an end to the meeting number 290, and I want to talk about something that we have started just started, like literally just started. Based on the meeting roles and the attendance and the speeches that you give and the roles that you take up, we have decided to have a Toastmaster of the Month concept. And since we are a little late, we would first start with the Toastmaster of Month for August. And given the attendance and the roles, Toastmaster of the Month, it's my pleasure and my honor to call upon Toastmaster Simran as Toastmaster of the Month. Better late than never. So next I would want to call upon Toastmaster. He's not here, so you can take a video actually. I'll announce the award and we can send it to him. This is the roles and the speeches and participation in the meeting, not just coming and attending, participating in the table topics as well. I'm happy to announce Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar as the Toastmaster of the Month. And Toastmaster Kalyan Kumar, we miss you today, but this is for you. Before the start of today's meeting, I see that everyone's all decked up, and we had announced a best dressed male and best dressed female. I don't know how to decide that, so I will just ask who is the best dressed male, and you can shout anonymously. Best dressed male.
Those are a few nominations. Okay, raise your hands for Toastmaster Chetan.
Better if you both stand.
Yeah, you can stand like go around.
Yeah, let's have you walking the ranks.
Yeah. It's like a mugshot. Straight face, side, right profile.
We need some performance, please, to vote.
I'm serious now.
Okay, let's vote. Show of hands for Toastmaster winner.
What do people count twice? There is no vote.
Yeah, we get something.
One vote per person, yes.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Is it?
Oh, 11. For Toastmaster Sanish.
You people can also.
Give your passion. One, two. For Toastmaster Chetan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right?
11.
Yeah.
Okay, best as female nominations.
Vidya, Simran,
Marita.
come. Now we can
we can't go. At least 2 steps. And Parita is going to show us. That's why Parita is very important. She's a Gujarati, right? Going every day.
Parita, what are status guru?
So we are going to dance, and nobody will sit and nobody will see. Everybody will dance. Music, if music is there, otherwise Parita will sing. Say dance now. Come on, अरे सब कर रहे हैं इसमें क्या
Come on, 1, 2, 3.
Actually, is not having a special performance from them. Decide if you want to come now or you want to give special performance.
So that is the event I am taking up. That's the event here I am taking. Okay then. Okay, now who are not dancing, please come. So we are going to change to present a Garba night. Anybody interested can follow.